Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Joshua Stonecutter. That's what I call myself on the internet. I was just pre-gaming a little bit. I'm going to stop clicking that. I got my Facebook Live going. I don't have any friends really on Facebook yet. I don't have anybody following my page, so I don't really know who would happen along to see it, but I'm taping it nonetheless, because it'll go up on my Facebook. I just started a new Facebook page, and if you want links to it, well, you just send me links to your Facebook page, not a fan page or a business page disguised as you. That's already happened. Like, I spot this stuff real quick. Welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time. These are the topics we're going to talk about. I'm going to tell you about me and why I am qualified to bring you this information. I'm going to talk about why I think some people should abandon the oaths that they've taken. I'm going to ask the question, do I have rights? And what rights do I have? I'm going to ask the question, where and how was I born? And I'm going to talk about who would frame my family. All right, so it seems like there's something else I was going to talk about. Let me see here. Yeah, that's from yesterday. Oh, yes. Narc abuse. We're going to talk about narc abuse every episode. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to tell you why I believe I'm qualified to bring you the news. I'm more qualified than these people that you see on TV. The people that you see on TV, their training has been going to college to learn how to sit in front of a camera and read. That's what they've been trained to do. Okay? Let me tell you about my background. I grew up in Gainesville, Florida. I was born at the University of Florida, out on a road called Millhopper Road, a few miles from a place called Devil's Millhopper. Big surprise, right? Devil's Millhopper sinkhole, and it's also a state site. So ever since I was a kid, I've had a background in agriculture, right? And my first few jobs had to do with agriculture and with people. Let me give you some examples. The first job I had ever that I can remember was handing out coupon books. They call them Gator Greenbacks. I was handing out Gator Greenbacks to people on Santa Fe College campus when I was like 14 years old. Interesting fact, kind of like hindsight, I was just a kid, you know what I'm saying? And like, they didn't really pay me much of anything. At the time, I was happy to be making the money that I was making. But my point is that it was all like under the table. And this was like, I was a young kid in a Christian household. So like, we were always taught to do the right thing. So when something happens like that, that's just blatant, it is blatantly wrong. It was blatantly wrong, blatantly illegal. My parents didn't say anything about it. I didn't even think about it. I was like 13, 14 at the time. Anyways, so when I got older, I had a job doing telemarketing. I was 17 years old and I got a job doing telemarketing. You see, I realize now that the homeschooling was to actually dumb me down. I thought that the homeschooling was to like provide me extra special attention because my parents like really loved me, Well, I think they did really love me, but just in a different way than what I originally thought, okay? And we're talking about P stuff, the letter P. That's all I can say is the letter P. I can't say anything more than that because they'll zap my videos. They'll fry my videos. So I was still living at the house and I ended up getting a job at a telemarketing research firm, which is actually pretty cool. From there, I got a lot of cooking jobs and what was I doing? Telemarketing, cooking. And I was doing like landscape type jobs as well. Then I got a job at the University of Florida, and I worked for IFAS, the Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences. And I worked for their news and media relations department doing photography. I did that for 5 years straight, and I did it professionally. That was a professional. I didn't start as a professional, but after about a year or two, I definitely finished as a professional. I was a professional photographer, you know. It was like an unofficial paid internship, where at the end they just kind of like, well, yeah, they fired me for no reason. It was ridiculous. They just looked for reasons to get rid of me and fired me at the University of Florida. It was really bad because the director didn't like me. Now, hindsight's 2020, I see the director was like a good old boy, as they put it to me, right? We all know what that means. So I also had a DJ career where I was DJing nightclubs, like big nightclubs around Florida, big raves, little raves. I didn't graduate high school. I dropped out and got my GED, and I only did some college. For hobbies, we're looking at mountain biking, disc golf. The homeschooling part is a big part of my story, because what I believe happened now was that the homeschooling was like used. It was used for malicious, for nefarious, very, very nefarious purposes. Okay, so currently I am a medical marijuana patient, and I get paid to talk to people. Basically, I talk. I work in a field of politics. All I do is very simple. I go out and I collect signatures. I collect signatures on petitions. There's like nobody in the Facebook Live, which is fine. This is the first time I've done this. You have to I'm just going to keep doing it. Whenever I film my YouTube, I'm going to do Facebook Live, and people, hopefully in a couple months, this is up to me. You know what I mean? This is up to me for how long I can keep this up. It's not easy. It's not as easy as you would think, hitting record, going live, and actually being yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be myself. All right, that's enough about me. Let's talk about the narc abuse. If you want to understand what is going on in your life and what is going on around you and what is going on in society, the key to understanding that is understanding narcissistic abuse. Period. For some reason, and I don't know why, they are actually, I believe that it's actually being taught like as a preferred method of dealing with people. Do you see, like, I feel like, and it looks to me like they like teach people to specifically act like narcissists, even when they're not. It's the weirdest thing, and I can't really explain it. But understanding the narc abuse, understanding the narcissistic abuse will help you understand what's going on. I think that it's time for people, because this is something I was thinking about. I believe this is just a total stab in the dark, you guys. This is a stab in the dark. But I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of people, they probably took like, they probably made promises or took oaths. We'll call it taking an oath or something. They've probably made promises or took oaths. They probably made promises to people or took oaths to things that they didn't fully understand when they were younger, or maybe when they were more naive, myself included. And what I'm saying is, now my oaths had to do with my church, the Christian church, and all that. But what I'm saying is, it's probably time for everybody to start thinking about the oaths that they have taken. You know what I mean? And and how serious, is it really that serious? Do you see what I'm saying? I think everybody needs to ask that question, are the oaths I took really that serious? What would happen if I broke them? Because quite frankly, I don't know what the oaths are that people have taken. I have no clue. I have no effing clue, But I do have an inside source, and I do know that there's promises that people have made when they were very, very young, when they're very naive, So I think this isn't about who's going to do something. And that's what everybody needs to wake up and realize. This is not about who's going to do something. This is about, what are you going to do, if anything? What are you going to do? This is the next topic that I've been wondering about is, do I have rights? And what rights do I have? Because if I'm reading the situation correctly, and I already know that I am, if I'm on a DHS watch list, then that means, and oh, okay, so it's not just a DHS watch list. So a DHS watch list, and I'm labeled as a paranoid schizophrenic, and I don't even know what else, by the state of Florida, and something in the state of California as well. Okay. So given those three things, or just forget about the DHS watch list part, right? Let's just say the two things that we know are true, right? Which are the me being labeled that way in these states. That means that if and when I do like try to get like assistance with things or try to report things or whatever, that means that they can basically just take my report, roll it up, and throw it in the trash. They can like close the case as they're pulling out of the parking lot from talking to me. That's how it works with me. But that's the situation that I'm in. And I don't know if you, the viewer, fully understand that. What I'm telling you is that I am not in a position to where I can legally or physically do anything about this stuff because I have been labeled these things by the state. In fact, I'm in a spot where they could just do whatever, and that would be that. They could false flag me. I'm in false flag Flagler. And I call it that jokingly, but also not jokingly. Because I've seen, okay, check this out. And then I'm going to move on, all right? I do live in Flagler County. I have worked at 3 different businesses here. I'm not going to talk about which ones. At 2 of the businesses, I've seen them doing like false flag type things, wherein I don't really want to say too much about this stuff, you guys. I've just seen them do false flag type things wherein the employees of particular businesses will participate in like gaslighting and lying to like people in the public about something that happened, but something that went down. And I'm not talking about covering up criminal activity. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like false flag type things. Like, I don't really know how else to put it. Okay. So it seems like they're like set up and ready to go to like, hell, you could probably sell who knows what, like if that's the situation. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just hypothesizing here. Like, I have no idea what's being planned. I have no idea what's going on. But I do know that I'm out on the streets talking to people, and I see with my eyes in real life, and then there's online. And what you guys need to realize is they have you living online, and you don't even realize it. You think, oh no, well, I go do these things, I go do this and that. No. I mean, you do, but what are you really doing? All right, so the next question that I've been wondering about is where and when was I born? Because this is the problem, okay? And this is probably why I keep wanting to adjust my camera. This is probably, why they don't like me. This is probably why they're scared of me or whatever. I don't know. But it looks very obvious, and I have proven that my parents have been lying about stuff. I mean, the construction of our home, it was designed knowing what was going to happen to me before the foundation was poured. They've lied to me about everything. I don't want to get into it, but there's pictures of us in Washington, D.C. underneath the obelisk, which is like a huge, like, ritual thing to have people stand there. And there's one of my family members covering their eye like this. And they're so young, you guys. And I remember that at the time. I remember saying, like, stop, put your hand down. What are you doing? I mean, I was like, I was like 8 or 9 years old. I didn't know what this meant. And the person doing it was like 3 or 4. Do you see this is my childhood. This is what, they don't want you hearing about this stuff. Because do you know why? Because I was there for a pro-life rally. I was there for an anti-abortion rally. And I'm there with my parents who, by all accounts, look to be pagan worshipers, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. but they lied to me about everything. And it looks like they abused me my whole life. It looks like, this is what's possible. I could have been drugged up and tranked up my entire youth, and they could have just been dragging me out for special events, for like anchoring events that would anchor me in an experience, and blah blah, and then the rest is just done. I don't even know how. Maybe they had me sedated, hanging in front of a screen or something like that with things playing. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing. I really don't know. But I'm wondering about these things. But my point is this: they really wanted me to believe that I came out of my mother. There's even grotesque pictures of me coming out of my mother. I don't really know. I can't. Don't want to get anything happen to my channel, but there are pictures of me exiting my mother. You know what I mean? As being born, supposedly. That's what But what I'm saying is like that's what was pushed on me. But there weren't those pictures of anybody else being born. So when I was younger, I thought that this was just something that my parents wanted to document, like a nature program, right? But now the things I know about how that stuff scars a man, like mentally, from like wanting to sleep with a woman and all this stuff, they have done so much stuff to turn me over to where I am, to where I don't like women anymore. That's what they tried to do. They tried to make me not like women. That's the best way I can put it. And they also did a lot of other stuff to me. My whole childhood was an entire mind F. The whole thing. And I was being abused the whole time. I didn't realize it because I was being drugged and tranquilized, I believe. Before the foundation of the house was poured, they knew what was going to be going on there. So if they wanted me to believe so strongly and so without a shadow of a doubt that I definitely, came out of the person that I call my mother, what I'm saying is it's probably a lie because they want me to believe it so strongly. And that's how I've been able to figure a lot of this stuff out. And that's what the three-letter agencies and everybody else that's watching needs to know. The reason I have been able to figure all this out is because you guys will not stop messing with me. That is why. It's because you guys cannot stop messing with me. You cannot stop trying to control me. Period. That is why I've been able to figure this stuff out. And I just had this inkling, just the thought, is my family hiding money from me? Because, look, I can't tell you how much of this is the person that I call my father's fault. I'll be serious. When everything happened in California, when I came back here to Florida, if he had actually helped me instead of like pretending to help me and giving me the illusion of helping me, like giving me a car that was like booby trapped to break down. That's what he gave me. He gave me a car that was booby trapped to break down. And I didn't have a car. I was so grateful for a vehicle. And I am, like, you guys, I'm so grateful that I have that vehicle. I'm looking at it right now, But the moment I got in the car, I knew that it was going to keep breaking down like that. And before I even drove, okay, so I got the car in Tallahassee. Before I even drove it back to Gainesville, I'm calling him on the side of the road. I'm like, yo, I don't think this car is safe to drive. I don't know what you got me into here. I think this is a trap. I think this car is going to break down systematically, like over 10 times over the next 3 or 4 months. Guess what the car did? It exceeded, whatever I predicted it was going to do to my father, it did worse. And when I was making my predictions, I was irate. I was like screaming and crying on the side of the road. I was like, it's going to break down like 15 times in the next like 3 or 4 months. You guys, it did. It broke down more than 15 times. I'm serious. That car broke down that car broke down somewhere between like 13 and 20 times. And it's going to break down again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's like people that come and mess with it when I'm working. It's just so easy to do if you're me. It's so easy for them to mess with if you're me. So I need to get some kind of like car breakdown insurance, like an engine repair insurance. You know what I mean? I don't know why I was talking about where and how I was born, and now I'm talking about this. But my point is that this stuff falls down like dominoes. Okay. Like for me, in my life, the fact-finding mission, all the information, it's all just fallen down like dominoes. And it's worked like a backwards jigsaw puzzle. I've been like, oh, well, if this is true, then that's true. And if that's true, then this is true. And it's been this horrifying fact-finding mission. And every step of the way, I'm talking to my dad, I'm talking to my pastor, I'm reporting to them what I'm finding out, basically getting closer and closer to finding out about them. And there near the end, they knew that I was honing in on them, and my dad completely stopped talking to me, completely. And he said he couldn't take the things that the questions I was asking about my mother and the things I was saying about my mother, who he's long since divorced from, doesn't like, told me he doesn't like her, told me he can't stand her. And I was asking questions about her being like a covert pagan worshiper and her being into the peace stuff. Like, because it looks like every single person in my family was like doing very horrible things to children. That's what it looks like, okay? Or somebody has set stuff up on the internet to make it look like my family is like involved in horrible stuff. I don't know. But I hit a point where I had to stop and say, yo, man, I don't know what I'm looking at, if it's real or not, but it's making it look like my family is involved in like unspeakable things. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what it looks like. Okay, so that's a good segue into the next and final topic before we close with more narcissistic abuse. Who would want to frame my family? Because quite frankly, I can't see anybody wanting to do this stuff in my family. I haven't gone investigating them. I haven't gone talking to them about it. I did call my uncle and say, the jig's up, I know. And he sounded like really scared and stuff. I didn't tell him what I knew. I didn't say anything. I was just like, quite frankly, I was, feeling him out. So, but all the information that I found online on the internet, it's like right there. It's so easy to find. When it came to looking into my family, all the information was easy for me to find. Maybe it was easy for me to find because it's my family, but I just was operating under the assumption I was like, is my family hiding money from me? It looks like they are. And what are these businesses? And that's when I stopped. I was like, what am I looking at? And that's why I don't even know if I'm posting to real people. I don't know if people are actually seeing this. Like, I'm being completely serious. I don't, because nobody's actually like made a comment that I can relate to. And I've been doing this for a while. Now, I just started doing the YouTube again. All right. My last YouTube got up over 3,000 viewers, and then crap hit the fan and it had to go, or like the channel went. Anyways, the channel was gone. They zapped a bunch of old videos of mine for saying the P word and calling it hate speech. As if what I'm doing is hateful. You guys, I've just been on like a fact-finding mission trying to figure out what happened to me like when I was growing up, like how to answer all these questions that I have about my youth, just like the majority of everybody in America. And that's what's so scary about this, is that the questions that I have about myself are the questions that everybody in America has about themselves. And the questions I have about my addiction and my substance abuse, yo, man, nobody ever said, because check this out. The rehab I went to was chosen by like my family and my church. And it was called the Phoenix House, which was like the bird on that record I had out yesterday. It's a phoenix bird, Phoenix. So the people I went to for help, the people I went to for treatment, my pastor, and then eventually the rehab, all of them knew what happened to me when I was a kid. Do you see? They all knew. But they're all diverting it, saying all these other things and blaming it on the divorce and all this crap. So, like, that's why I've been wondering, like, if I do have rights now, like, if I do have, because, like, I know for a fact already from just what I've done recently, that if I do go to a police station and say anything about any of this stuff, it's just in the trash. I know that. It's handled just like the Franklin cover-up. It's handled just like all that stuff. Just throw it in the trash. Who cares? Let's see who cares. Nobody. I don't believe that. The fact of the matter is that nobody knows. And the reason nobody knows, because they have me totally shadow banned on TikTok. They have me totally shadow banned on YouTube. So I need your help. I need your help. I need you to share this stuff on your social media. period. And it's not looking good. My video had like 4 or 5 likes the other day, and now it's down to 1 like. Like, who ever heard of this stuff, man? My video had 6, and we're not working with a lot here, you guys. I got like 80 subs, right? They let 25, 30 people watch my video. It gets like a large amount of likes for the people that watch it, right? It was like 40 people had watched it and it had like 6 likes or something. Or 30 people had watched it and had like, or 24 people had watched it and had 6 likes. And now I look at it and it has 1 like. I know it, yo man, and this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be the entire time I'm posting on YouTube. It's just dirty, 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 cheap tricks. And I think they even know the algorithms to where they can get on YouTube and say, oh, this person's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing that. And YouTube will just automatically take my videos down just by computer, like an AI thing. Because look who I'm up against. And look who's helping me. Nobody. Nobody's helping me. It's starting to scare me. You know what I'm saying? Like anyways. All right, you guys, I'm going to peace out after I talk about my backdrop here. This is that painting, that picture. Let me show it to you here. This is really cool. And you guys can find this on, online. Pretty neat. Skull and bones. And it's so weird, man, because looking at that, it feels like me. When I'm looking at that, and it kind of looks like me, too. My neck isn't quite like that, but man. I know it's probably the artist or whatever, but... So... that was Troy's. And Troy, I was told, shot himself. And this happened in Eustis, at a lake in Eustis, Florida. I don't know if that's true or not. For records, we got Paul Van Dyke. Featuring, I can't pronounce her name, but the name of the track is Tell Me Why, The Riddle. And, you know, back when I used to play vinyl, I used to DJ, this came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. So let's see here. When did this come out? 2000, yep, like I said. So it came out the year I thought, pretty much, 99, 2000. I probably started hearing it in 99. This record came out in 2000. And then we got incredible artists back here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Blank and Jones, Cream, Evolution, ATB mix. Blank and Jones, classic. I mean, I haven't been into the electronic music thing for too long, but I assume that they're still jamming classic. And then I have my usual friends right here. Princess Leia, Luke, Obi-Wan, the 3 of the people from Stranger Things. And a reminder of who it is I'm addressing for the most part, and who it is we're dealing with for the most part. You know, this sadly represents a lot, you guys. And you can buy these online. This is a Fughead. You can get these out of Jacksonville, unless the guy is out of business or whatever, which means this would be a collector's item. But you can see they're actually, it's like hard plastic. So if... Anyways, yeah, please buy one of these for yourself. I've lost the box for mine. Hopefully I can get in touch with, I believe the owner's name is Byron or Brian. So, and it's just a reminder that we're all Fugheads. Here, I'll show this to the Facebook people here. So, you know, you guys, this is what raised me. Okay, this is what raised me. The movies, the other people, and being inspired by other people, the techno, and it was all supposed to divert me from one thing. It's all supposed to divert you from one thing, okay? The truth. Everything out there is to divert you from people like me talking about the stuff that I'm talking about. Please share my channel. I love you guys. Thanks for watching Conspiracy in Real Time.